Hey guys, this is Jen with Card Zen by Jen. Thank you so much for joining me for another Quick Tip Tuesday. Today we are talking about adhesives. There are 3 adhesives that I keep on my desk, on my craft table at all times. And they are the green bottle Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. I love using this. I also keep a tape runner on my desk. And I also keep the Stamp and Seal Plus on my desk because I like to do a lot of 3D projects, and this is the perfect one for that. So I'm just going to go through a little bit about each one of the adhesives and their purposes, why I like one over the other for different things. And to do that, I realized I was working on my swap cards this last week and realized that I was pretty much using every adhesive that Stampin' Up! Had to offer on my swap card. So I thought it would be the perfect illustration for the different adhesives and what they're for. So first of all, we're going to start off with what they call a tape runner or snail adhesive. And you can get this, there's a lot of different options. Stampin' Up! Sells it, and it's simply called Stamp and Seal. Before Stamp and Seal came along, it was the snail adhesive. And I tend to prefer, and I know I probably shouldn't say this, but I know that I tend to prefer the permanent adhesive with Tombow Mono. I just like how small this is. I like how the cap stays on. It does have just a little ridged area for your finger. And all you do is you simply put some pressure down, pull back, and it stops nicely, and hopefully you can see that there, but that's why they call it snail adhesive, because it looks like the slime from a snail that goes across the sidewalk. And the only thing about the adhesive, the tape runner adhesive, is that it's kind of unforgiving. So what I mean by that is when you put this down on your cardstock, you need to have it where you really want it to be, because once it goes down, it's down. It's very difficult to remove this and move it around and use it again. So that was the Tombow permanent adhesive. So the next one we're going to use is the Stamp and Seal. We're going to use this on the back of my DSP here. We're going to come across same way. You're simply going to push down with pressure and pull back. Now, what I've discovered with the Stamp and Seal, and you may have seen that right there, is that, I don't know how to describe this, but it's like almost like a little bit of elasticity to it. It kind of just, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but it kind of pulls a little bit whenever you are done using it. And for some reason that just doesn't quite sit right with me, but the more that I use it, the more I get used to it. But it works this exact same way. So you're going to put it down where you want it to go. You do need to be exact, because once it's there, it is there. Press it down and you're good to go. So those are our tape runners. And again, always on my craft table. The next thing that I really love using, and I'll show you why, is the Tombow glue. Now, I'm going to be putting these pieces across my paper, if I can get them apart. This is what happens when you craft a lot and you no longer have any fingernails. So, I'm going to use my Tombow glue for this. We're just going to put a little bit, just squeeze it out lightly. A little bit does go a long way. And we're going to put it down. Now, I want this to be over on the far edge. Oh, I didn't quite get it there, but voila. I was able to still have a little bit of time where I could move that piece into the position that I needed it to be in. So let's do this one as well. Put a little bit of glue on the back. Put this down. Again, I can slide it into position, make sure that it's where I want it to be. I always tend to get that one on the right a little bit higher than the other one. All right, so that's why I like the glue, because it is a little bit more forgiving. You can move it around slightly until it starts to dry. Once it's dried, it is dried. It really does hold great. So that goes for the glue. The next thing we are going to look at are the Stampin' Dimensionals. If you guys have not played with these, they are absolutely addictive. I am buying these right and left. So they come in two sizes. They come in a regular size, and hopefully you can see those here. They come in a regular size, and then they come also in the minis. So we are going to take this middle piece, and we are going to apply dimensionals to the back. What they do is there's a little bit of foam there. It's sticky on one side, it has a paper covering on the other side, and then what you'll do is when you're ready, you are simply going to peel off the paper to expose the adhesive. I tend to have these papers all over my house. My husband is probably about to kill me. The only good thing is that in my new craft room, my floor is white, so they blend in a little bit better. I put 4 of those on there. Again, these are not very forgiving. Once you get them pressed down, they really are rather difficult to get up without, I got that a little off center. They are difficult to get up without messing up your paper, especially if you're using the lighter DSP. So now that I have it where I want it, now I'll press it down a little bit. And you can see how it raised that up higher than the other two. And just in case you did not know, you can put dimensional on top of dimensional. Just remember to remove the rubber back or remove the paper backing first, and you can do kind of double the height of that. So we've gone through the tape runner, we've gone through the glue, we've gone through the dimensionals. We are going to add our sentiment, and for that we are going to use the mini dimensionals. Again, everything has its place and its purpose. So we'll use the mini dimensionals for that. Again, you peel off the paper backing just the same way. There is a trick. If you put your fingernail down through the middle and press down, it makes that paper backing fold up and it's easier to get off. Tricks of the trade. So we'll put that down and press that. Now we are going to add a little bit of cord here. I like this being a masculine card. This is actually using the Mountain Air stamp set. This was one of the very first stamp sets that I bought as a new stamper. And I bought it because of the scene with it. And I have all boys. So there is always a need for masculine cards in my family. And sometimes I just get a little overrun with all of the floral cards. They're beautiful, but Stampin' Up! Does have quite a lot of floral cards. And I need more of the masculine sets. So this is the Mountain Air. If you like that and you need a lot of masculine cards, or even not masculine cards, but if you like a lot of nature cards, this scene really does remind me of Alaska. That was one of the best vacations we have ever taken, going to Alaska. And that's what that scene reminds me of. But this is the second year that the Mountain Air has been in the annual catalog, so I'm not anticipating that it's going to be held over for the 3rd year. So if you want Mountain Air, now is the time to get it before that annual catalog goes out. So now what we're going to do is I tied my cord. I'm going to snip this off a little bit. They're a little too long. I just tied a knot there. Again, it's a masculine card. I mean it to go for a man. I don't want a lot of like embellishments, and it is a sympathy card. So I don't want a lot of glittery things on it. I don't want the rhinestones. I don't want bows. It's for a guy. I just want to tie a knot. That's all I want to do. But now I want to hold that knot where it needs to be. So now we bring in mini glue dots. Oh yes, we just changed the game a little bit. So this is how I like to have my mini glue dots. It comes in the cardboard package. I like to tear off one of the little flaps here. Just fold this back down over, and that will expose your glue dots one at a time. So to grab those off of there, you can use the spatula side of your tool. You can use the spatula side. If you don't have this tool, you need it. I will put everything in my blog for all of these products. Everything will go in my blog with the item numbers. You just pick that little glue dot up. That glue dot is moldable. So once you get it down here, and you'll see that the glue dot is really bigger than what my knot is, all you have to do is just take your little nail, squish it in there, and press down. There we go. Make that come down a little bit. The strings never go where you want them to go, right? All right, so the last thing that I'm going to do to this card is I'm going to glue the inside. So for that, I definitely have started using my Tombow glue all the time for this. Again, I don't always get it lined up the right way when I put it down, so it allows me to have that versatility of moving it to where I need to move it to. So there we go. And my swap card is done. I'm hoping that anybody, oopsie, I never get it right. I'm telling you, I love my Tombow glue. There we go. So I'm hoping anybody on my team who's getting my swap cards will just pretend to be surprised when it comes in the mail. I hope you like it. And it really does display all of the different adhesives that Stampin' Up! Has to offer. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it was helpful. Join me again next week. I have no idea what we're talking about, but we'll come up with something. Thank you. Have a great night.